I've already spent $60,000 just wishing for your happiness, yet how could you refer to me as a wallet or an ATM? We don't recall ever asking for your help." Lily, Max's wife, scoffed with a sneer. "Why don't you try and stop the payments if you're so bothered? After all, I'm a big shot. I can easily handle it myself." Max added in the same dismissive tone. "Even Max, my eldest son whom I've raised, behaves this way. After forcing me to cover the cost of a $20,000 engagement party and then a $40,000 wedding, they have the audacity to treat me like this. They only see me as a cash cow. I must have made a mistake raising my son. I'll never let them push me around again." "I've heard you loud and clear. Are you sure about that? You know we won't let you see your grandchild, right?" Max threatened. "You don't have to. I'd be more than happy to stop the payments." From here on out, it was a steep fall for Max and Lily, who had been treating me like a money tree. "My name is Chloe. I'm 56 years old. I've been struggling alone ever since my husband passed away 12 years ago. Between my job and raising my 2 children, I've always had my hands full. I'm currently an executive at a decent company that I've been with since before I got married. To the outside world, I guess you could call me a career woman. The children, who were high schoolers when my husband died, have now graduated college and are working, so I'm a bit relieved. I just wish they'd settle down and start their own families soon." While contemplating these thoughts, I lived alone comfortably in the condominium that I used to share with my children. Then, one day, Max called me saying, "I want to introduce you to a woman I'm thinking of marrying." I agreed, delighted. Max, who turns 28 this year, works for a large corporation as a salesman. Although he has been a bit of a playboy, it seemed like he was finally settling down. On the day he was to bring the woman he was planning to marry. "Mom, long time no see. This is my fiancée, Lily." "Nice to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you." The woman Max introduced, Lily, was a receptionist at the company where he worked. She was strikingly beautiful, and I was quite proud of my son for finding someone like her. "Oh, congratulations to you both. I'm here to support your happiness." My face beamed as our conversation flowed. Eventually, the topic of the engagement party came up. "We're planning to have an engagement party soon. I need to start preparations then. Mom, could you cover the $20,000 cost for the engagement party?" I was taken aback. I thought the average cost was around $10,000. However, seeing their happy faces, I couldn't refuse and agreed. Of course, it's a happy occasion. Later, my eldest daughter, Mia, came to visit. "Mia, how's work going?" "The deadline was yesterday. I'm managing well, so don't worry." Mia is a manga artist. While she hasn't had a big hit yet, she has had her own series and manages to make a living. She's always been good at drawing and loves manga, so it might be the perfect job for her. "By the way, Mom, Max is getting married, isn't he?" "Yes, he came by the other day with his fiancée, Lily, to introduce her, and they've asked for $20,000 for the engagement party." "Wow, $20,000 is a hefty sum for sure." "It's not like that. But apparently they're going to split it for their wedding funds and to send gifts of gratitude." "Is that how it works?" And so, on the day of the engagement party, I gave them the promised $20,000. Both Lily and her parents looked delighted. "We'll use this to start our new life together," they said, putting away the $20,000. There were no gifts of gratitude that I expected, but I reminded myself that this is what engagement parties are like. As long as they could have a happy marriage, it was okay. But a few days later, Max dropped a bombshell. "I want a grand wedding with lots of company and connections invited, maybe around 250 people." "That sounds wonderful." "And with that, Mom, I'd like to ask you to cover the upfront cost of the wedding." "What? I have to pay?" I was under the impression that weddings were funded by the couple themselves. "I'm counting on you, Mom. It's pretty standard for parents to pay for the wedding." "But didn't I give a lot of money for the engagement party?" "Lily's parents are frail and can't contribute, and I'll give you back the wedding gift." Reluctantly, I opened the bill Max had brought. To my shock, the amount was $40,000. The idea of this much upfront cost made my head spin. How large a wedding were they planning? Wait a minute, isn't this a bit too much? Why not have a wedding within your means? It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and Lily doesn't want to compromise. Plus, don't you want Lily's parents to see how happy she is? Being cornered like that, I couldn't refuse. All right, it's indeed a joyous, once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Seeing my consent, Max smiled and said, "Thank you," before leaving the room. Later, I transferred the upfront cost of $40,000 to the wedding venue. It was hard to use the money I had been saving for my retirement, but I told myself it was for my child's happiness. Then, 2 months later, on the wedding day, the wedding venue was more luxurious than I had expected. Mia and I had arrived early in the morning to change into our dresses and get our hair done. When I was about to knock on the bride and groom's dressing room door, I overheard their conversation. "I can't believe we're able to have such a lavish wedding thanks to Mom." "Absolutely, and she gave us $20,000 for the engagement party. I even managed to buy a new bag. What a great wallet." "More like an ATM. Let's keep withdrawing from it." "Max, that's mean." Stunned, Mia and I continued to listen. Lily gleefully says, "If we ask her, she'll probably cover the rest of the wedding costs, right?" "Of course she will. Leave it to me." "Then let's use the wedding gift for a honeymoon trip to Hawaii. And of course, we'll take my parents along. How about buying a high-rise apartment for our new home?" "That sounds perfect. Let's get my mother to cover the cost. She does have the money, after all." The hand I raised to knock on the door was trembling. Mia held my shoulder and led me away from the door. Breathing slowly, I took Mia's hand that rested on my shoulder and said, "Mia, there's something I need you to look into when the ceremony starts." "Of course, Mom. Leave it to me." And so Max and Lily's wedding began. Their vows in the chapel, the toast at the start of the reception, all I could think about was the conversation the two of them had earlier. "Presenting the groom's mother, Chloe." Even as the MC introduced me and the spotlight fell on me, all I could muster was a bow. Mia, who'd been making the rounds toasting, came back. "Mom, I checked with Lily's relatives. Both of her parents are perfectly healthy." I knew it. "That's horrible. We need to confront them. I'll be right there with you." As Mia said this, it was time for the first wardrobe change. Lily exited first, then it was Max's turn. "Now the groom will exit. Escorting him is his mother, Chloe, who raised him single-handedly." Called upon, I walked down the aisle to meet Max. A little tipsy, Max was in high spirits, announcing to the MC's microphone, "This is my amazing mom." Keeping a straight face, I walked beside Max, exited the hall, and headed straight to the dressing room. Mia was there, and she spoke to Max. "Max, there's something I need to ask you." "What is it, sis? Make it quick. I need to change and get back." Max replied curtly as he undressed. "I heard the conversation in the dressing room earlier. How could you talk about Mom like that?" "Huh? You were listening? Well, whatever." As we were taken aback by Max's attitude, Lily, who had already changed into her dress, came in. "Mother-in-law and sister-in-law, what's going on?" Mia pounced. "Lily, we found out that your parents are healthy. They both have good jobs. Why are you making our mom pay for everything? What's going on?" What is this? Some kind of sister-in-law bullying? Scary." Lily dramatically recoiled. My patience snapped at her mocking attitude. "I've already paid $60,000 hoping for your happiness, and yet you treat people like they're wallets, ATMs. What kind of language is that?" Hearing this, Lily laughed as if it was a joke, acting all high and mighty for such a small sum. "We're not in your debt. Besides, it's normal for the groom's parents to pay for the wedding, right? But you lied about your parents being ill to buy a new bag. Ew, you were eavesdropping. That's a terrible hobby." "Watch your mouth." Mia, angry, told her off, and Lily looked at Mia. I don't want to be told off by an older sister who's still single at 30 doing some weird job as a manga artist. It's because you're such a nerd that you can't get married. That's right. You're hopeless when it comes to marriage, sis. Mom, if you want to see your grandkids, don't speak rudely to us. Mia was stunned, speechless. How dare you speak to Mia like that? I tried to scold them, but Max laughed and responded, "If you're going to talk like that, try stopping the payments. After all, I'm an elite. I can easily handle it. Well, it'll be a shame to lose the cash cow." I had paid $20,000 for the engagement party and $40,000 for the wedding, and this is how they repay me? No gratitude, only this cruelty. I must have gone wrong somewhere in raising my son. I've had enough. I won't be manipulated by them anymore. I've heard all you have to say. Are you sure about that? If you don't listen to us, you won't see your grandchild, you know. Max threatened, but I firmly responded, "That's fine. You don't need to bring them over. I'll gladly stop the payments." Max and Lily just stared at me, stunned. "I'm severing our ties here. I wish you all the best." With that, I took Mia's hand and we left the venue. The joyous noise of the reception was still audible as we departed. A month later, as Mia and I were enjoying some tea at home, the intercom rang with a shrill tone. "Oh, Mom, it's Max. What should we do?" "Let him in, dear." Max, whom I hadn't seen in a month, looked remarkably worn and tired. "Why the sudden visit, Max?" "Mom, you must have received the bill for the wedding venue by now. Why haven't you paid?" "Huh? Oh, the bill for the remaining balance? It was $45,000, right? It arrived, but I have no obligation to pay it." "Don't be like that. In the end, we didn't receive many wedding gifts and couldn't pay the bill, so now we're in debt." At that, Mia laughed and commented, "From what I overheard at the wedding, it seems you two have quite a bad reputation. You, Max, have been throwing your weight around at work, doing haphazard jobs, and Lily, you've been putting down other women, flaunting your looks and marriage. I can see why people wouldn't want to give wedding gifts to people like you. Hey, sis, stay out of this." I let out a sigh. "You two, it's not just me you haven't been considerate of, it's everyone around you. The wedding expenses are your own doing. Please pay them yourselves." Max pleaded desperately. "Mom, I'm in a bind here. Lily can't control her spending, and even her parents have started to take advantage of me." Lily's love of money isn't exactly a new revelation, Max. Plus, having seen Lily, I can easily imagine her parents behaving the same way. Please, Mom, think about helping us. Give us some money. To Max, who was begging, I sternly replied, "You were the one who said, 'I'm an elite, it'll be a piece of cake,' and told me to stop making payments, weren't you? And didn't you say that we were severing our ties? I have no obligation to give you any more money." "Mom, don't call me Mom. I don't want to be called that by someone who has only ever seen me as a cash cow. To be honest, I'd like you to repay me for the wedding and the engagement party, but I'll write it off as a settlement payment. Now please, leave." Max, who had looked shocked, now had a malicious look on his face. "Hey, are you really okay with this, Mom? Cutting ties with us like that? How will you spend your old age without a husband? Don't you want to see your grandchild?" Before I could respond, Mia intervened. "Don't worry about that. I will be by Mom's side. And what can an unsuccessful comic artist like you do? You can't even have children. Shut up." Max was frothing at the mouth with anger. "Ah, so scary. Sure, you mock me as a failed manga artist or an otaku, yet my manga was among the top-selling shoujo manga this year. Did you know it's set to be turned into an anime and movie next year? Safe to say, I'm in a much better financial state than you and your debts." And with that, Mia revealed her successful career. At this point, Max noticed something. "Hey, sis, that thing. This? Oh, you noticed? Yes, that's what's happening." Mia flashed the ring on her left ring finger. "I'm getting married to my editor. He's a big shot at a major publishing house, a real high flyer, so we can take care of Mom. We don't need you. Anyway, we never intended to have our children care for us. Thanks, Mia. We're having a wedding, but we'll handle everything ourselves. We'll invite Mom, Max, but you don't need to come." To a stunned Max, I said, "Did you get it now? Never bother us again." Together with Mia, we steadily pushed Max towards the front door. "Please, Mom. And you too, sis." "Ah!" Something came to mind. "What? Are you going to give us money?" Upon hearing this, Max turned around with a happy look. To him, I said, "That director at your wedding? Turns out I didn't know, but he's a client of my company. It seems your hiring and all your undeserved privileges were out of consideration for me. I told them to stop that, though." "What? I didn't hear about this." "Stop it, please. Handle it on your own now. Goodbye." Mia and I pushed Max outside and firmly locked the door. Max was making a fuss outside, but after ignoring him for a while, it became quiet. A year passed since then. Right after that incident, I sold the house to avoid Max and Lily's visit and bought an apartment with elderly services for my old age. According to a neighbor from my condo, Max and Lily showed up and created a scene asking, "Why isn't she here?" Hence, I believe my decision was the right one. As for Max and Lily, they abandoned their dream of a luxury high-rise apartment and now live in a cramped space. Max, it seems, was demoted after his actions were reviewed. Perhaps hurt from falling from his elite status, Max worsened his attitude towards others. It's surprising he's not fired yet. Lily, who quit her job upon marriage, continued to splurge for a while, but their funds quickly ran out. Even with their debts, Lily's luxurious habits did not change, and her parents continued to demand money. Apparently, they quarrel daily. I hope the two learn the hardship of earning money and appreciate the people around them and grow up. Though that might be too much to ask from them. I still maintain a good relationship with Mia. Mia's husband is a good man who treats me well, and they are expecting a baby. I plan to spoil my lovely daughter and grandchild, and looking forward to it keeps me working every day.